We're back. Don't everyone speak at once. Oh, Fast literally has the shirt off. Okay, let's go.
You guys are all wearing clothes.
We ain't dancing on graves yet. Whole thing hit past the famous
backstage. Nobody was gonna wear clothes, and all of a sudden you're all wearing shirts. Thanks a lot, guys.
I thought you were a dip catcher.
I missed the memo on this one.
Well played, sir.
But I mean,
okay,
keep your shirt off fast.
It's okay.
No, I mean,
I'm not saying you got to put it on. I'm not going to get any instructions.
There's some fine deads though. It looks dark on you there, sir.
Been doing some deadlifts. Been doing the RH workout fast.
I do push-ups. That's about it.
3 minutes a day.
3-minute abs.
I almost have a 2-pack.
You keep working it up. In 4 more years, you'll have a 3.69 pack. There we go. Dave Morales, glad you could join us. Well, welcome. Nice hat.
He's taking a nice walk. I don't know where he's
almost
at.
Off. I got the drip on too.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, gents, take it away. I'll be back in a little bit. Talk Hexy to everyone. Talk Hexy. Let's go.
So
you guys are looking Hexy today. Those are some wild shades you got there, Corey.
Feeling it. Feeling very Hexy today. So how's everybody doing? I love those glasses, Dave, Corey. Those are
Appreciate it. PulseChain vibes. I was hoping I could get the HEX logo on there, but I was unsuccessful with that part. The PulseChain is good. I can also get PulseX on there. Let's see if I can do PulseX.
Nice.
Let's see, there it is. There's the PulseX.
I love it.
Not too shabby.
Nice.
I've got most of the chain covered through my my new lens.
I'm just not sure that they're large enough, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need a bigger set.
Oh man.
So when does everyone think that 5 million is going to get spent?
Great question.
Yeah, that's been interesting just to sit there and watch it do nothing. I guess it's brought value, but yeah, to where I'm not sure.
Yeah, the TVL is on.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be in no hurry to spend it either. I would just sit there and hang out for a little while and let people capitulate and sell because I'm already seeing the FUD on Twitter.
So yeah, you already saw that there was front runners that got caught real offsides there.
I know some guys who went pretty big on the Fame protocol, and I was like, ooh. And I had thought about it. I was like, you know what? I better now. What if it doesn't get deployed?
You know what's funny is I feel like the RH ecosystem, we've gotten a bit more fleshed out because 2 years ago when news would break, I could calmly walk over to my computer and be like, click, make a trade, and it would go pretty, I wasn't in a, now I feel like if you catch news like that, and you don't catch that, if you aren't watching and catching it yourself pretty quickly, you're going to get caught off sides, especially if you're making leverage moves on something like Fame. You got to know you got to really be paying attention now, which, that shows to me that we're getting to there's obviously more people paying attention. There's faster bots out there. There's lots of people that have incentive to pay attention and try and front run you. So
I'm watching Jexxa here. He's probably running his own nodes. He could front run all of us.
I'm too busy doing other stuff to worry about that.
He's too busy running everyone else's nodes.
That's
to worry about his nodes. That's the problem. He's made a damn business out of it, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's another thing that's killer to see is there's several people who have made businesses out of just validator staking and providing services for people. There's more than one liquid protocol like yours out there. There's people doing it in IRL, making hardware, boxes to be sent like David does. It's neat, and that's sustaining.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How people take it for granted that how much these chains actually touch the real world and how much value gets brought in into the chain from the real world. Like people want to run a validator, so they're probably paying someone like David to buy their equipment or get him to do some services, and he brings that funds back into the chain. So these guys have worked their job. They pay David some money. He brings it back into the chain. So yeah, that's why I just don't think people.
I'm one of
they
those
don't
guys.
Sort of understand that. Yeah, exactly.
I use David. I was running my own validators, but then I moved to Puerto Rico, and our power sucks here. Our water sucks. Our everything sucks. I'm like, no, I'm not running my own validators no more. So
same. Like I'm running off satellite internet, and like there's one power line that runs to the acreage I live on. If it ever goes down, it's not coming back up for days, right? Like
no
it's
bueno.
not
No.
Yeah, that's why I like the liquid staking protocols. It's the easier choice to do almost the same thing.
Agreed. I went, for some whatever it was, I made a exodus from mining. I used to spend all my time tinkering with the hardware for a living.
I mean, that's what you were in the movie about, Big K.
Yeah. I built lots of machines.
Definitely not from the movie.
And I'm like, there's a part of me that when something happens or there's something out there that like I want to, some part of me is like, oh, maybe I'll just kick up those cards and see what's going on here with it. But I can't. And like here, I just like, it doesn't make like any sense, to run any sort of hardware here that needs to have redundancy or needs to have uptime or is going to be power intensive. Like it just doesn't. I haven't had a desktop computer since I lived here, and it feels freeing. I'm like just free as a bird over here. I run some nodes through, some liquids, some vouch over here, and feel great about it. Like, and that was honestly the part that was like freeing about HEX is like from the get go. It's like I can remember staking HEX. At the same time, I was still running ETH miners, as I was running, I had a warehouse. We downsized because, markets were bad, but I still was, still found windows of speculative mining that I was doing. And so like, I'm running both at the same time. And it became a no brainer pretty quickly, hey, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with this hardware here? I just can click a couple buttons.
This is what I don't get.
This
is what I don't understand. Like, Bitcoin miners go broke regularly. I don't like. You look at the price charts on the listed miners. They're dog shit. Like the Bitcoin's been going up, and they're still smashed. Like I don't know how these guys actually stay in business.
People. The only way that miners that are around is if you're running large facilities, have a deal with a power company.
Let's say free electricity, or have a deal with something, and are running at some massive scale. Like as far as Bitcoin mining goes, like at home mining shit is very much for the birds. He's like. That was something that Richard taught me pretty early on. Is like he had good knowledge on stuff. Like I remember him talking, using the one-way diode stuff about like some protocols, Veil and Beam. There were like some privacy stuff that came out. There were mineable coins, all the same. And like he was like, man, I got a bunch of 1080 Ti's here. Like I could kick up, but like it ain't worth it. And like I do the math on it. He's like, almost every time if you just buy the coin, and like every time you think about turning on those machines, you just buy whatever amount of coins you're willing to waste in electricity and just sit on those. You do better. Like almost every time. There's a few speculative plays that I could be like, no, I did real good catching some blocks early, but for the most part, no, you're just wasting your time. So HEX was what was like, it changed me. It changed me entirely because I thought that like to be a part of crypto and to really like understand what's going on here, you needed to be a miner. You had to understand, what was going on the chain, and like I was like that's not true at all. And I've done, and in fact, financially did way better not touching a single machine. So you'll figure.
Yeah,
Thanks for the win.
Totally agree. And I think since the yield's been switched off on HEX, which ultimately I think was a good thing given where we were in the cycle, obviously that's become, the yield components become less of a draw card, but I think that will get reflected in token value sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's a trade-off for price go up.
Yeah. And I suspect that if we go into the next bear market, you might see yield get switched back on. So
I agree.
I think there's some interesting mechanics that can be played there. So I think people that are probably less inclined to stake now, when those dials get moved around, prices up, and yield starts getting switched back on, I think that will change significantly.
There could even be some door prizes for those who chose to stake with lower rewards, right? Because as I understand the levers that can be pulled, one of them is the OA emergency end staking some of those big stakes to increase the APR, which would also the majority of the penalty would go back to the OA because it's the biggest staker and because it gets 50% of the penalty. But probably a notable portion would go to established stakers. So that could be a nice little handshake.
That would be something that could be a nice and like the nice thing about bonuses like that is that it's for that day, like it happens for that day. So it's kind of like
in the system,
like a snapshot kind of
that moment.
Yeah.
So
it's neat. I always thought that was like early on in HEX. I loved to discuss and talk about some of those levers that are kind of things in blockchain that, like I said, it's, if you haven't listened to and believe some of what Richard's trying to get across, that there's a big difference between economic decentralization and network level decentralization, and like what the benefits are of each and or the dangers are of each. In fact, then it's really hard to process why we're bullish about having something that can adjust your APY as is, But like we've consistently seen over 5 years of acting that at the end of the day, this has been here to keep things in the system very well balanced. It's for good. It's for the better of the system.
Yep.
So
exactly. I think people that have a cursory look at HEX see that as a negative. They think that is a massive red flag, but what they don't understand is when you delve deeper into the mechanics of how it can be used, it's actually super positive, and it's there to protect everything. And you can, like you say, you can have a period of where over this bull run, yields look shit, but if it's a 5-year stake, that can be flipped in a dime, and that yield average over that 5 years can be cranked straight back up to something that looks fantastic and has been worthwhile being in it for 5 years. You don't care about it until you get a stake ended anyway. So that switch can be flicked whenever.
If you have a 15-year stake, this bull run's not even really relevant to you.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it does not.
But that reward, if there is an emergency end stake en masse from the OA, that would still be relative to you if you were,
definitely.
if you had
as long as you're in the system, you have
and quite a high margin, because you'd get if you have a long stake, you have these bonuses that you're getting. So like you're actually 2 or 3x what your actual input is. That's some of like the unique feature of HEX that was awesome early on is because there was these well thought out, carefully leveled rewards. It wasn't just massive. I mean, we've seen a million protocols come out that either inflate to crazy amounts, or try and burn 1 million tokens to try and counteract for that, or whatever. There's and a lot of that, whether it be high APY or not having any sort of centralized origin address situation to control some things, like all of those things have proven to not really have the time tested like longevity that HEX has had, and it's not just the code, but it's also in, you can see it in all of us here talking about it.
The Maximus DAO products would do very well if there were big emergency end stakes. That would give them immediate value boost.
For sure, because they are all getting the max bonuses too, or close to it, depending on
stakes like $3 million and stuff like that.
Yep, that's true. Yep. That's true.
Yeah, hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, you would get the benefit of it straight away.
That's pretty neat. I mean, like that stuff is, and like it's still at play. It's still at play to see where it's going to end. And like I was saying on the talk that I did earlier about like the fact that I made the hex stakes that I did, whether it be the fact that I'm still super interactive with the community, or whether it be the fact that like it just insulated me mentally for this cycle and the last cycle and whatever's to come, you know, like it's something that really people, I can't, like, you know, it's hard to stress that enough in a way that like makes sense. Cause like I get it. Like I've argued with some other hexicans of friends of mine, like over the past 4 years, being like, hey dog, what would it have made, like if you could have just unstaked X stake at the top at 56 cents, you know, and like wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that have made sense? And you're like, for the past 4 years, I've had to like argue mental, you know, like on paper, no, you're right. It would have made sense to unstake the coin, like, you know, but like there's more going on here at play than just like I said, in the paper, like just the gains there. It's really about like crypto in general is about this, like it's a longer race than just, you know, a flash in the pan thing. And people don't realize that everyone has the short term, like we're going to get rich this cycle mentality. And like, they don't realize before you know it, like I turn around and I'm like, oh, I've been in crypto for whatever, it's 10 years almost now, you know? And then you're like, wow, that's nearly a decade in something that like, I thought that I missed the boat on when I first got involved in 2016, being like, I can remember being like, how could I have not known about this? It's Bitcoin's at $600. How did I not know about, you know? And like, no, we were just getting started, you know? And that's the kind of stuff that we'd have to realize. And like having those long-term stakes like that helped me to be like, man, this is, and I look at some of them now, some of the early stuff I've done and being like, man, a lot of time has eroded relatively quickly, you know?
Yeah, it's like when you're throwing things out for 10 years, you didn't think it would pass this quickly, did you?
No. Have a couple of kids and time flies, you know? Like
Get married,
older than your
kids,
right?
It all happens. And like I can say that, you know, so much of what's happened in my life at least has been centered around this, you know, because it's changed my life in a lot of ways, but it's all, and like also like it's this super sticky, super interactive, you know, like, you know, just game theory that really keeps me constantly, you know, like it's the you know, the enigma of it is like, you know, I can't stop paying. I've made the stakes so that I don't have to watch the chart, but like here I am every day saddling up to the computer, getting into the trenches, you know, like, you know, so it's like, it's wild.
It's funny.
And
so the chat, sorry, you go.
Sorry. And for a smart contract that hasn't changed, you know?
Yep. It's funny you say that about hanging around. And so that's what I was talking about a minute ago about all the communities and the sub communities. And Somi said something on one of his videos last night about all the HEX and PulseChain women. And it's actually true. Like if you look across all the other communities, they don't have representation like we do on that side of the community. And so there's got to be something there it's not just all degenerate young dudes. Like it's brought it's brought the other gender across as well. So there's something there that obviously resonates with everyone. So it's been, when he said that, I thought, he's actually true. Like if you delve into other communities, they just don't have that sort of representation. So it's sticky enough, and that builds that community. And I think there's that, I don't know, women seem to like that security side of things. So maybe there's that, the whole staking thing and the saving for the future and all that. Maybe there's an appeal there. I don't know.
It's true. It's true. I'm not saying like there's other crypto ladies in the general mainstream crypto, but the amount of, you know, lady centric stuff that we get going on in HEX. I mean, they do golf tournaments, they have streams, they have regular outings that are like there's definitely like I'm nothing that's regularly impressed by that because it is definitely finance in general, you know, is overwhelmingly a male dominated situation, you know, so. Finding anyway, and like that's something that like I mean that, you know, my wife has said from the beginning of all this, she's like, man, is like, how do you get more ladies involved in crypto? She's like, something we were talking about in 2017. And I'm like, I have no idea. Like I'm not sure. But, so like this has definitely done quite a great job. I was looking forward to Whitney. I thought she was going to be on the panel with us. So
she's supposed to be here.
But she's fantastic for that stuff. I mean, I'll speak into some of her good graces. That some ladies out there really need, and do very well with having a community of people of the like-minded investors as well. So like she's doing a great job at rallying that and creating that community herself. So
I think she's seen Fast didn't have a shirt on and decided not to join.
She's
Good, man.
Thanks, Fast.
I mean, you're chasing all the girls away.
Happens. Haven't been shirtless before in front of ladies and scared them away. Then what do you do? Put yourself out there.
I'm not too worried. So what do you guys think the next big thing for HEX is going to be? Like, obviously everybody's like, when Moon, right? But like, when future development, when game changer.
I'm ready for, and it's not game changer, but like I'm really ready for there to be some angry other crypto people on Twitter getting these free electronic devices, whatever they may be. I can't wait till they're like posting pictures of them and angrily being like, what the hell is this? Why is this even legal? Stop this people from doing this. Richard.
So awesome.
I can't wait for that. That was one of the more fun parts about like the last bull run, as like of the culmination of marketing coming together for people, for all that. That was great. So like I think that we're going to get to see quite a bit of that again, and I'm looking forward to what that looks like.
There's going to be anger out there, man. That's going to be funny.
Oh yeah, that's something that that's something that again I didn't like. I learned so much about marketing just from being a part of this community, because like I've said it before, like I have a maths degree, I've got project managed stuff. Like I got into this to talk about numbers and stuff, and like then I realized pretty early on I was like, I'm marketing here. That's what we're really doing. It's very So I learned a lot about that, and like that I learned that like that's from Richard that like if you're turning people's eyes and making them angry, then like you're reaching people. If they're yelling at you, then like you're reaching people. You're not just reaching them, you're reaching everybody. You're just like, they just happen to be the loudest, but like they're a canary in the coal mine to let you know that like, hey, this is working, like you're getting out there, and so that's fun. It's fun. That's a fun part of it.
Whoever's sending out the digital stuff, if we can make sure Matthew Crater gets one, that would be awesome. I'd love to see his reaction. He's got a special place of hate for HEX. So.
I hope all the haters out there get one. And
I'm going to say I would love all the haters to get something.
Talk about it as angrily as possible. Yes.
I wonder if that's what the mailing list is RH collecting data for years on all the people who hate HEX. One by one.
The problem is that it's supposed to be high net worth individuals getting these devices. So I don't know how many of his haters are high net worth, individuals.
I mean, that's the thing. If it's any Maxi crypto people that are out there that are all Ethereum or all Bitcoin or hate him for whatever reason, and feel strongly about it, all those people feel, it's great. I love that marketing. Because we will reach a lot of other people that are super interested along the way.
You'll bring a lot of new eyeballs over.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point.
Oh yeah. So that's
people always FUD direct mail. It's so funny. And before I got into crypto, I was in real estate. That's what I did. We flipped houses. We did wholesaling. And I used to buy 10 houses a month from direct mail. We spent about 70 grand a month. It was all postcards. And it was a very expensive form of marketing, but it works. They get their postcard. They don't throw it away. They stick it on the fridge or they put it on the counter. And then when they're thinking about selling their house, they'd call us. And this is no different, really. I mean, so it's, direct mail does work. And so it's just a very expensive form of marketing. That's all it is. But I know firsthand it works. It made a ton of money.
It does.
Yep.
So even if you go to the letterbox, grab out your mail and walk it straight to the bin, you've got to sort through it.
You're going to
put
look
in
at
the
it.
bin.
You have
You
to
are
look.
going to
You're
look
gonna
at
look
it.
at
Yeah,
it. Mhm.
You have to.
Nobody's going to
Yeah.
throw this thing in
Yeah.
the bin. Like, it's going to be a package. This is just from the public Telegram room, what I understand. It's going to be like a sealed
Yeah.
package, probably going to say something cool on the front, and it's going to have some weight to it, right? It's going to be like, what is this? You're going to open it.
That
We
feels
know
like
it has
money.
batteries,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, that'd be cool. But like, we know it has batteries, so you're going to open it. You open it up. Maybe there's a screen. Maybe there's a speaker. It's going to tell you something. It's going to do something. Like, you're not going to immediately throw that in the junk mail bin, you know? Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna, you're gonna show your friends. Even if you hate it, you're gonna show your friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If it's a novel, if it's something novel, and people go, oh, look what I got in the mail, like they'll show it to their friends.
Mhm.
So this- the first time I've seen one of these.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna have a shelf life. Like, people are gonna hold on to them for, 1-2 years.
Yeah, there's a whole community of people out here. Like, there's shit tons of Hexicans that, like, just in the way that the Telegram group and Richard has done things, he's like, he has us all chomping at the bit for some marketing material. We're all like, please, can you send me one of these marketing things?
Yeah,
Right.
like,
I've got to be honest. I haven't set my expectations high because everyone's going, "Oh, it's a hardware wallet. That's all this." I'm going, "Yeah, I don't know."
No,
that
it's
gonna be
not
anything."
going to be anything super crazy, but like, it'll be cool enough. And like, just because we don't know, we all want to know real bad too. So like, I mean, just that fact alone, there's a mark, there's going to be a strange market for for somebody to see one of these things, So
I think it's one of those digital postcards. I don't know if you guys ever seen those. Masterminds send those out all the time to prospects that trying to get into their groups. And of course, these guys are, they're high net worth entrepreneurs. They come in the mail and they look like almost like miniature iPads. And you open them up, and then there's the video that plays like the whatever marketing ad they're going to be, they're trying to shill, and there's usually a call to action at the end of the movie, and then they're very bulky and big. It's like you open them, you keep them because they feel expensive. It's like, wow, this was a lot of money. It was not right, the novelty aspect of it, and you're like, man, the guy who sent this to me probably spent $5 just on this piece of mail. And so I think it's something like that. I could be totally wrong, but I think
agree.
I agree. Something like that. I mean, like, and again, just
that, like a hex shaped. It wasn't about hex, but a hex shaped like postcard. You open it up at a speaker at a TV, and it's like, okay, yeah, Richard printed 50 million of those that are coming in containers to the U.S. first, right? Like, it just
think about if you weren't in Hex and you received that, would you not open that? I would open. Of course, I would open that.
And especially if it comes at the same time, like we get all these a confluence of things. We get the government telling you that crypto is really cool. We're buying a whole bunch. There's, oh, hey, rates are lower right now. Oh, hey, I just read a whole big thing about some freaking helicopter money that's going to go out to people. So like all that's going to come, and great. This is perfect timing for us to say it's over here, guys. Take a look at what we can do here. Yeah, and if we continue to get rate cuts and the bull run lasts into next year, then there'll be a lot of really happy people that get these and actually take them seriously. So I'm excited about that. Like it's really a exciting that I feel like is the most neat part of what's going on in the near future. But there's lots of other stuff. I mean, on protocol and all that, on Pulse stuff wise. But for Hex, I really think that's going to be something that's somewhere between that. And that $5 million that's sitting there just chilling. Maybe some more of that comes across and some stuff starts happening. All that I like the green. I remember green candles are some of the best forms of marketing.
If you have some green candles when those new eyeballs come and look at your chain. And look at more specifically Hex, if there's some green candles there, we know new money, especially retail money, loves to buy green candles. Like even the seasoned investors will buy green candles, but we know we shouldn't. But new money, for sure, they will look at the charts and go, "Oh, that looks attractive. I want a piece of that."
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah, I think it's all additive. Like you've got the money coming across the chain and just parking itself there. We've got like the rate carts. We've got the cycle. Looks like things are economically about to turn. I think we've washed out most of the dumpers. It's taken a long time to flush everyone out, but I think we've got to that point where I think we've got a few people that are actually happy to hold now. So I just get the feel that the timing on a lot of things is right. So
yeah, it's lining up. That's all part of the market cycle, man. I believe, in the 4-year cycle, and I'll follow suit. We're lining up with altcoin season and everything else. It's just all part of the plan. I always say on my show, we're in a matrix. Everything's already been planned out. We just got to lean in and play our part. That's it.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff just repeats and goes over again. And now you see the opportunity. You have to have faith. And it takes a lot to have faith. But you got to have the faith, play your part, lean in, and your life can be changed forever.
I think the tide's starting to change too on like just public opinion from outside the community. Obviously there's still some haters, but the other day I ended up in like a private X space with where an influencer, had a group, right? And so I joined just to see what would happen. And they had me up on the stage. They had me talking about PulseChain. They had me talking about HEX, and there was zero hate. Right.
Good.
There was some reflection on old Richard Hart. He was kind of a meme for a while, but he launched HEX. They knew what it was, right? The audience was happy enough, right? I had 50 people follow me, right? Who I'd never met before, who are not part of the community. So it's like we can start to reach out and get an effect outside of the echo chamber.
Yeah.
And they were very happy to hear about PulseChain, right? And promised to, have me back, right? And there was $0 that changed hands. It was just, they want the info and we have it. So, I think, as KOLs, as we're called now, we can start to infiltrate other communities on a high level.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that there's a lot of people that are, because there's more KOLs now than there was last market cycle by a insane multiple, and not everybody it's like some Gilded Age shit, not everybody is part of this old guard that has these feelings and hatreds for this. A lot of people are actually just looking for good opportunities, and the ones that all these old KOLs and the ones that have been here forever are shilling them. They already know that those people have fat bags and are in that's not the opportunity, so they're actually trying to figure it out. And we're like, hey guys, we're over here. We haven't pumped yet. We've got a lot going on that's great over here. I mean, and overall, it's still the most thrilling and entertaining and wild community of people in crypto to pay attention to too. It's its own, good and bad all around. I mean, it's the best of it, and it's also,
that's what makes it, man. That's what makes it.
Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head. So the people that came out hard on the hate were actually Bitcoin maxis, and I think so. After chasing after Richard, and the reason why they've done that is one of their own went out and done his own thing. So
went rogue.
He went rogue, and they just flipped the lid. So you go look at all the major interviews. It was all Bitcoin maxis that came out. What is his Giacomo, Peter, who else? There was
Tone Vase.
I think that was true at the time, but now I think it's shifted to, some prominent KOLs have, turned on Richard or attacked Richard for engagement, right? And
I mean, that's
community jumps on you. You get 50,000 views, right?
Yeah, we do.
If they switch sides, like when green candles come, because they're fickle and they may or may not really be our friends. But if they switch sides to our team when the green candles come, they're going to get that engagement they want too, right? Just in a positive way. So,
Yep.
like, of course, there's going to be some people who remember, but that's fine. And I think we should all forgive and forget for the duration.
For sure. I'm all about I don't hold any grudges about any of that stuff with it. I'm the first person to be like, dog, if any of these dudes, if Tone Bayes was all like, oh, I just bought some HEX, I'd be like, dog, here's a hug, buddy. You know, like, ever come on in, you know, like I don't care. I love it all, you know, and we'll take it all. But I also think that it would be good if the market outreach marketing that we're doing for HEX is centered at communities and groups that don't have any, like I said, we're not going to don't even bother with people that already have an opinion, you know, that's negative. Don't even, it's not, there's so many more people out there that are just like, what do I buy? What do I do here? Crypto is good now, you know? And so like, those are all the people, like there's so many of those in other communities all over the place to be able to net that don't have to fight that uphill battle about like, oh, who is, you don't have to mention Richard. It doesn't even have to be a thing, you know, like you just,
so what, with a fresh inflow of capital from new buyers, you also get not only is there a recycling of cash and value, but there's a recycling of people that are presenting on YouTube, people that are like you basically turn over a new generation of the next wave of people coming in, so they don't have the trauma, we'll call it trauma, of past cycles. So they're coming in with fresh eyes. And what you'll find in a lot of cases is we live in a little bit of a bubble where we've been all about HEX and PulseChain for the last few years. I speak to people that have been in crypto for years and go, oh, yeah, I do a bit of this, and they go, what? I've never even heard of that. I'm like, okay, so we all think that a lot of people that are in crypto already know about us, but a lot of them, they're doing their own thing. They're tinkering in their little corner of crypto. And I don't know how many goddamn chains we're up to now. I've lost count. It's insane how many chains there are. I don't even know half.
Yeah, they're in their own bubble. I'll tell you a story. Here in Puerto Rico, where I live, my neighbor, he moved in like about 3 months ago. He's an ETH guy, only an ETH guy, and told him about PulseChain. He never heard of it. He knew about Richard Hart and HEX from last cycle, but he knew nothing about PulseChain, nothing about, you know, the fork. And well, the long story short, he's in the ecosystem now. I onboarded them, and but he's a good example of like you're talking about Jexxa. He was, you know, he was an ETH guy, and he was in his own bubble. He only knew his own stuff, and he didn't even know Richard Hart launched a chain. So
yeah, I don't even know half the shit going on PulseChain. Like you just can't keep up with it.
I don't either anymore, because like I'm always touching grass now, right? I'm always doing my own thing, right? And that's also how I'm able to stay so diamond-handed, because I'm not always plugged into everything. I like that, but like sometimes like a protocol will come up and like, oh, I don't know much about that. I should learn more about that. Yeah, that's part of my problem. I want to know more without having to be like involved every day, all day, every waking minute. I don't know how fast
I gotta have like layers of what I can handle. You know, it's like I go over something pretty quickly to be like, all right, this is something that I need more time for this, or I don't even do shit. I can't even bother. You know, like you gotta
carve it off on your calendar. Be like, okay, I'm trying to dive into this.
And sometimes I get caught in some cycle of some dumb whatever meme thing, and I'm just, you know, watching it, you know, watching some real garbage, and just like, what do I play?
Yeah,
instead of playing some Flappy Bird game last night, that's a pump tires token. I don't fucking know, man.
My last 4 or 5 DCAs have just gone into core assets because I don't even want to do any of the thinking. I don't even want to like try to.
No, that's the best. That's the best thing too. And like that's what I try and tell people that get all afraid, because so many people that I've onboarded are afraid to click so many buttons, and I'm like, dog, you're the best. Like you just buy something and just don't touch anything. Just go
buy HEX, PulseX. Like
and just
story over. It's
because I mean that's the thing, is that most of the tinkering you'll do, especially once we get into this like mid to late bull cycle, like no, just chill, man. You already positioned yourself, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the hardest part, though, sitting on your hands.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, not trading yourself out of your own bags. Not that, like, traders can win, but most don't. And when I'm looking for, and like, if I have, $500 to deploy and I want an easy choice, like I pick one of the 4 cores all the time.
Yeah.
If I have, whatever secret inside cabal information, maybe I buy something else. But the easy choice is the 4 core coins.
The cabal, that word's no longer going to be fun because most of those guys who were throwing that word around seem to have left.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was a lot of fun there for a while. Now it's like,
well, it's like they want to. It's real easy to rally. Like there's certain ways to like coalesce communities, and one of the easiest ways to do it with like low and intellect level of doing it is to like pick an enemy and the more faceless and the less that they can speak for themselves, the better, so like it's a cabal of people that are just people that might be not have your best interest or something, but like it's not really a thing, and so they, you know what I mean, like or whatever.
Yeah, there's no secret cabal.
Yeah, and like if there
There's
was
a bunch of them, but they're disappointingly not evil. Like
like a bunch of different groups of people, and like there's not actually a bunch of evil shit going on, and not everyone is just like manipulating the chain to like take all your money. It's not like that. You're just actually a bad trader. It's not all of us, So that's all. That's whatever. It's fine. It's I think that's great that they to have community, but like when you grow it through that kind of stuff, it's like, well, it's eventually it's not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever.
Yeah. Misery loves company, and that's what I always say. Is like these guys are miserable and they capitulate their bags. They want to convince you to do the same and be miserable with them, and that's how they grow that kind of community. And that kind of community, it will only attract more misery and more of like type people. And it's just no way to build long-term growth or community in my opinion. It's horrible.
Yeah. What usually happens, and so this happens in all societies, is you fracture off, you build a community, and then that community ends up with sub-communities that then basically,
and we've seen that right now too. We're seeing that. Sub-communities, a sub-community.
Yeah,
it's wild.
As soon as you get big enough, you're going to get dissent because you got different people in there.
Yeah,
so it was really interesting to watch it play out. Yeah,
if you can fork it and do it, and you have like any sort of belief that you can take a group of people with you, people will do it. It's just
it's starting to be kind of a last man standing thing when you look at like, okay, who's still building on the PulseChain, right? And it's like the number like there's more people building meme coins on the PulseChain, but there's not that many serious builders. So I think when we see the next bear market come and go and the next bull market start, who's still standing here then is going to tell the tale.
For real.
That's true because I mean I do feel like I don't feel like I think you're right, there's not that many, but there has been several teams that have put out products, but it's really you're right, it's going to be a matter of which of these ones are useful enough to actually garner the volume that they need to like build the momentum to be a sustaining protocol.
You've got two
founders showing up for that timeline.
Yeah, that's right. You got two subsets as well. You've got people that are building protocols and are actually on chain, and you've got a lot of people that are building services around that. So like the block explorers and coin tracking things, and so there's sort of a couple of different realms. But yeah, a lot of the building which is on chain, or a lot of the creation at the moment seems to be a lot of the meme coin sort of stuff. But I know, I know of a lot of things that are getting built that are going to add a lot of good value as well.
Or completely off chain, like we have what's called the DeFi Wealth Trust, is where people can sell crypto and go into real world assets and go back into crypto. Like we onboarded the entire, the trustee, the lawyers, all of them. We onboarded them to PulseChain so they could understand DeFi. And so like that's a good example where it's not even. It basically didn't even touch the chain, but it's got a good use case if you want to defer your taxes. Yeah,
You guys don't get enough credit for how much you onboarded. You must be, you and your partner are probably the biggest onboarders to PulseChain, period.
We have
right, in terms of
300 members in our real estate group community. Got another 900 that we sent through what we call our accelerator, which is a whole different product. But the real estate guys, I mean, some of these guys are coming in with, they're coming with 6-figure clips all the time. Like it's always, and these guys have never done crypto and they understand real estate at a very high degree, but they don't understand this stuff. And so we go to these real estate events, we speak on stage, we go in and we onboard them, and we teach them all about this stuff. And so, yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
Mate, it'd be interesting to have a chat to you about that. So my background was in the property development, and I'm going down in November to present to a group of property guys, and I was going to talk about my sort of the stuff I do in the real world to do with crypto. But
I'm pretty bearish on real estate right now, Jexxa.
No, me too. Yeah,
but go watch my show from today and last week. But I think we have a great opportunity where we can absolutely crush it in the crypto game, make who knows 10, 20, 50, 100, whatever it does, right? Like this next altcoin season, PulseChain, HEX is going to do absolutely amazing in my opinion, not financial advice. But take that money, and then I think, man, you might be able to buy like legacy type real estate bottoms in 2026 and 27. Real estate works off an 18.5-year cycle in the U.S., and we're coming on the top of that next cycle. And if you time it right, man, that's like true wealth preservation type stuff, man. It's
funny because that's exactly what I've been thinking as well. And I pulled out a property for the last probably 5 or 6 years. I think their last project was so. Sort of seeing where the cycle was going, and was thinking about crypto cycle ends, rotate back into property. But
it can be perfect. It can work out perfect. I don't want to jinx it. But it can work out.
I'm finding it harder, and I'm finding it harder and harder to want to go back to that asset class though, because
I can see that
crypto is just so easy, so less friction.
You can go back in the form of liquidity. Like syndications, funds. Like syndications is like. You could go in, be an investor, get your IRR, which is crypto terms is APY. You can make around anywhere from 15 to 25% IRR, and you could sell your syndications. You could sell out of some of this stuff, and then get shares in the company, right? And then you just take that money and go right back into crypto again and buy the bottom, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, coming in, buying your favorite assets like HEX, PulseChain, because these are going to be multi-cycle assets, guys. I mean, that's what I'm planning on. So like. Coming in buying those bottoms,
I'd love to hear what your pitch is to property guys. I've got to go sit in front of a.
I got a lot of presentations that I can show you. we got pitch decks. We got all that. Yep.
Moppa bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club's looking at HEX. Hopefully, I heard buying bottoms. That made me think of that song. Okay. Shout out to whoever song by. Is that
I give credit to Dylan. You guys know Dylan with the Fame team. No, I love Dylan.
Say Flowrider, and he
literally put a rap song out. This is like maybe 6 months ago. He put a rap song out on all these different telegrams. I think he put it on Twitter. Right at the HEX bottom at decimal 0035 or where HEX kind of bottomed at. And I was doing my monthly DCA at that time. And instead of breaking it up between all the cores and doing what I normally do, he made me, I was like, man, screw it. I'm going to FOMO all the whole thing into HEX. And so I give him credit all the time. He's watching. I give him credit for, getting me to FOMO the HEX bottom.
And overall, that's a great timing because I'm pretty sure HEX is up quite a bit more than the other cores.
I'm doing my HEX is my biggest bag now, and I'm happy with the bag.
That's the thing is that if HEX works the way it did last time, is that I had other coins, and then HEX just was became my biggest bag like a bunch of times, many times over, and I was like, okay,
right. So it didn't start that way, right? Like it turned into that.
But I also will say that that's why that feeling is tough to deal with when you're like, oh my god, oh shit. But this is really why we're all here. Like that's why Pulse was made like at the very core to make HEX awesomer. So like out of all the things, I do love PulseX too. I think Pulse is neat. I think it's all neat, but I really still love HEX the best. You know, still just that's the reason for the season.
Greatest. Hex.com. Amazing. Gents, amazing panel. I was listening in as well. I've only got to take minimal P breaks. You know, I know Richard used to do 6 to 8 hour streams with no P breaks, but I do minimal P breaks from time to time over a 7 hour and 12-minute stream. Boom, we did it. We did it. Day 2. We got 3 more days to go. Let's do this. Hex week.